It is June 6th today. Been really busy planting the garden the last 2 weeks, and it's finally all in and everything's doing really great. So I thought I would do a little garden tour and show what I planted for 2025. So the first thing that we did is we put in an extension to the garden again this year. Last year we had put the vining extension in with the trellises, and this year we put the raised beds in. We disconnected the fence that went across right where these cement blocks are, and we just brought that out and around, added a little bit more fencing, and first of all, of course, we had to remove the soil. Bob used his tractor, which worked out so great, to remove all that sod. And we also put some reinforcement in because last year was a big problem with baby bunnies, and every morning I'd come out and the baby bunnies would be in the garden and they would be eating everything. And so I had chicken wire on the bottom part, but they were going underneath the chicken wire. So we put hardware cloth in around both of the vegetable gardens, and we dug it down, I don't know, over a foot I would say, and then covered it back up, and then it extends up. So I am hoping that we don't have baby bunny problem this year. So we did that first, and then we put some cardboard down underneath these, underneath the wood chips here. I went through trying to figure out if I wanted to put the fabric down and all that, and I just kind of decided, you know, it ends up bleeding through. I didn't really want to put more plastic in the garden again, and I had kind of looked at the whole cardboard thing. So for right now, that's what we did. I put cardboard down and then the wood chips on top of it, and we'll just see how that works for maintaining the weeds in this area. So these raised beds I got from, I believe that was from Vago Garden. I really like them. They were pretty easy to put together. Bob put them together. And one of them I had last year. This one I had last year, and so then this year I purchased this one and then these four. And these are some of the things I wanted to keep separate. So this is my Jerusalem artichoke. It's looking really lovely. I put that in last year, and then that was the one thing that I could not keep alive because the bunnies we did not have it fenced in, and the bunnies kept jumping up there and eating it. So it never made it. But this year it's doing fabulous. So my fencing's working good for that. And this one I have sweet potatoes, O. Henry sweet potatoes that are not looking fabulous. They're looking really pretty rough, honestly. But I know that when they come as slips, they look pretty rough, and then they usually come alive. I think I've got 12 of them in here, and some of them I think are going to come alive, but I think I'm going to lose a couple, so I might have to try to replace those. So those are O. Henry sweet potato. And then over here I put in ground cherries, which I haven't grown before, but I thought that looked like a fun little fruit to grow. So these are ground cherries. And then over here I started a new batch of asparagus. I had asparagus in one of my other gardens, and then I converted that to a flower garden. So I ended up just taking it out. But on the directions it said to put them down in a trench and then cover them with a couple inches of soil. And then as the spears come up, you just keep adding a little bit more soil, so that they have a really good deep start to them. So that's what I'm doing. And they have not all come up, but a few of them have come up. So I'm having hope that more of them will. So that is the asparagus. And then I put a couple of dill in here, which go well with asparagus. All right, so then down on this end down here, these are doing great. These are the beets that I started in the greenhouse, where I put like 4 in each pot, and what I saw on M.I. Gardener. And then I just transplanted them in here, and they are doing really well. So his thought is that they'll just kind of push each other apart, and they will produce just fine there. They're looking great. And then these are the green onions that I had started in the greenhouse, and they're doing really good too. Now in the fall, when I take this out, I'm going to put garlic in here. And this is my lettuce. It's looking really good right now. So these are the ones I started in the greenhouse. And then this is seed that I put in when I planted everything. 515. So it's now 6-6. So that's how long ago that I put this in. And then I'm going to put some more seed over there, like do it in little batches. So that's my lettuce. So that is the raised bed. And those are just kind of things I wanted separate, where they weren't creeping into something else. So it'll be fun to see how that goes. This is potatoes. So I've got red potato, white potato, and golden potatoes. So I've got 3 rows of potatoes here. We got the irrigation down. So back up, in the spring, this is kind of my spring into summer video. The first thing we did was we got the new area ready, and then we had to, Bob tilled up the garden. We added our wonderful compost from our goats, bunnies, and chickens, which thank you to the goats, bunnies, and chickens for their wonderful compost they produce. And we added that in. I put some azomite, which is like a rock dust down. I put some of my fertilizer, Trifecta Plus fertilizer that I really like, and let's see, I put alfalfa pellets down. So that's kind of what I do to get the garden ready to go. And then we put our compost down, a couple inches of our compost down. So that is the preparation, and then we can put the irrigation in. I think this is our 3rd year with the irrigation, which is working out great. So here's my potatoes here. Then we've got, these are collared in this row here. I started those in the greenhouse. Those are doing fabulous. And then radishes here, which are doing great as well. I planted those on 5/14, so it's been a couple of weeks. I thinned them out yesterday, so they're all ready to grow big and produce. And then we've got a few broccoli, and these I started in the greenhouse. These I put in as seed. And they're doing really good. And then the chard is looking really wonderful here too. There's some little thing growing in there. So the chard's coming up, and I started these chard in the greenhouse as well. So they are actually, I could snip those off and use them right now. And then I decided to put another row of potatoes in because I had some potato buds left to grow. So I put another row of potatoes in. Then we've got 2 rows of carrots, 1 on each side of the irrigation. So this year, some of the things I didn't crowd as much as I did last year. Like, I think last year I used both sides of irrigation for most things. And this year, like the potatoes, they were too crowded. So I just left them as a single unit on the side, and the collard and the chard as well. But like the carrots, there's plenty of room for them to grow by putting 1 on each side of the irrigation. Green beans, pole beans, and then down on the end where the trellis is not, these are bush beans. I've got a basil and some parsley down here, and a rosemary, and then down the middle here is some more of those ground cherries that I had left over, and some more parsley. And then way down here, I've got 2 different oreganos. My oregano that I've been saving and repropagating from, it died out over the winter. And so I got two new starts on the oregano. So here is a Greek oregano and an Italian oregano. Got those started. And then down the last row here, these are another pole bean that is it's one that I can dry. It's called Good Mother Pole Bean, and it's a dry bean. And I had some fun dry beans last year, so I decided to try that. So that's going to just grow up on here. And then way down here, I've got celery. So we got several, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 celeries down here, which worked out really good last year. So anyways, that's this part of the garden. And then in here, this is what we added on last year to get more space for the vining items. This is my cucumber down this row. The cucumber got, these guys when I put them in, and I ran out of my Trifecta fertilizer, so I had put another organic one down in here, and I think that that's what the deal was, because I've never had burn with a Trifecta before. But anyways, they are recovering. This one guy, I don't know if he'll recover. There's a couple that didn't, but most of them are recovering. So this is going to be the cucumber. This is going to be, oh, let's see, buttercup. This is the buttercup squash, and then this is the pumpkin. And then a few marigolds in here to help with the bugs. So that is this garden. Everything is really growing really well, and we'll check back on it in a couple weeks. So now we'll head over to the other garden. This garden is growing well too. Same thing, I've been planting them over the last couple of weeks, and it looks like some of these things I put in 521, and it's now 6-6, so that's how long they've been planted. And starting on this end, I have beets. I think I've got like 3 different varieties of beets, and I just thinned those out yesterday. And those I'm able to put on either side of the irrigation. That'll work out just fine. So that's my beets. And then I've got some turnips growing up next to those. And then on this side of the irrigation is rutabaga. You can see some little guys. They're really slow coming out here, and some more here. So these guys are pretty slow. And I'm just gonna kind of wait and see if more of them come up before I replant any. If more don't come up, I remember they were slow last year too, I will plant some more. But those are rutabaga right there. And then down at the end of this row, I've got peppers, and I've got several varieties of peppers. Some are hot, some are mild, and anyways, they're looking really healthy, so I'm assuming those are gonna go really well there too. And then the next row, these are my hard beans, kidney and black beans in the next couple rows here. And some, I tried to plant these last year. They're like a black chickpea. And last year the bunnies came in right when they were ready to pick. Well, not ready to pick because I let them dry, but right when they were really developed, and ate all the plants down. So once again, hoping that my fencing is gonna help with that. But anyways, there are some gaps in here, and so I'm not sure what causes this. I just feel like it must be an insect or something, because there are some little holes in here. So I think I'm gonna put some diatomaceous earth on, and then I'll probably plant some more in the little gaps that have some space here. All right, and then let's see, what do we got going over here? We've got, these are some more beans right here. These were bush beans right here. Those are some older seeds that I just kind of threw in here. And it's either the seed, or it's a bug or a worm or something that those didn't come up real great. So I'll probably put some more in there. Then I've got my summer squash. So I've got 3 green scallop. I've got 3 yellow summer. And then down on the end, I've got 3 zucchini, and that will provide plenty that we can eat, and I can freeze and share and all that kind of stuff. And then and those I started in the greenhouse too. And then onions. So I've got yellow onion and red onion. All of that I started in the greenhouse. Put a few marigold in here for bug help. And then this is my last area, and this is the tomato plants. And I feel like they're looking really good. My tomatoes were excellent as far as the seed, growing them from seed this year. And I put a few celery in here too. I have found that the celery grows really good with the tomatoes. Down on the end here, I've got several varieties of tomatoes, and then some of the smaller, you know, different little cherry ones, and then of course the larger ones, some yellow, some red. And then down here, I've got some basil plants. So those go really well with the tomatoes too. So that is my planting for 2025. And then we'll just give it a couple weeks and see how everything grows, and we'll check back with them then.